For the average homemaker, their bedroom is the last room that they get to, that they tackle the clutter, that they clear the chaos, and usually the last space in a home that feels like a true retreat. When ladies, let's be honest, it should be priority number one. I'm gonna show you exactly the state of my master bedroom and what I'm going to do to get my priorities back in line, reset my space, and have a master bedroom worthy of mine and my husband's retreat. Hey there friends, I'm Heidi, the heavenly minded homemaker, and I have been sharing with you all this month about the literal airing of my dirty laundry to reset not only my space but my life, working from the outside in to get my space cleared of all the clutter and chaos and declutter everything, deep clean everything, and now rebuild it into what I want my days to be. And I've been loving sharing this with you. I'll be sure to leave a playlist at the end if you want to catch up on all the amazing features that we have going on around here. But an absolute raw transparency, my master bedroom. All right, couple things here. When we started doing this process, I literally stopped doing anything in our bedroom, okay? I had some projects. I redid our closet a little bit ago. You guys saw that. I had a couple things I hadn't quite finished, but then we started doing all the other stuff in the house, which has gone amazing. But I said, you know what? Let's let this room get as bad as it possibly can. So that way we can really show what it looks like when you get to that state. I try normally to not let our room get to this state because I do believe in the power of our retreat space for our marriages, or even just if you're single, you know, for you at the end of a long, busy day. We're gonna talk about that. But I was like, you know what, for the sake of this here, let's let it get that bad, right? Let's let it build up, because I think that only hones in the point of importance here. The point being, life is crazy. Life is hectic. We all have a lot going on, I am sure. You, I know I do. And the last space I most always get to is our room, our bathroom, right? Our space here. I'm here in the morning, I leave, and I usually don't come back until the end of the night. But especially in building up my marriage, being well rested myself, right? Having an intimate space for my spouse and I, our retreat from the home, from the chaos, from the crazy of life, it's so important to have our rooms as true retreats. Now, they don't have to be big, they don't have to be fancy, they don't have to have anything crazy. I'm talking about being a retreat in the way of the clutter's gone, the chaos is gone. At the end of the night, it feels luxurious to crawl into bed, right? You and your husband have a space that is just yours, that you can come together and have that connection with one another. You can get great sleep. You can wake up feeling refreshed and not immediately overwhelmed by the stack of stuff on your nightstand, and you can't even find any clothes because there's so much stuff crammed in there. You know what I mean? And so we are going to tackle the bedroom here today. I'm going to show you the entire process, just like I've done in all of those other videos that will be on that playlist. So I'm going to do this in a few different steps. And as we go through this, I'm going to share some of my top tips that my husband and I have really kind of come across over the past nearly now 20 years of marriage for really making our space special, a retreat for the both of us, just our little happy spot here at the end of the day to come to. So this is how our process works. I've been sharing this on all of these. I swear by this process because I know it works, and I know so many of you have been getting the blessing of that as well. And step number one is to remove everything. Here with this deep reset of life, we want to make sure that we are decluttering, de-chaosing, you know, just getting rid of all the excess that becomes so overwhelming. I think especially in our bedrooms, so much gets packed in here, in the closets, in the drawers, under the bed, stacked them on the nightstands, right? So much stuff gets in there that it really is just overwhelming. You kind of come in with like blinders on. You don't even want to look at everything because there's so much stuff everywhere. So step one is going to be to remove all of that. Now, If you want to just put it on one side of the room, if you want to take it completely out of the room, whatever best works for you and your space. And again, don't think you need to tackle all of this in one day. If you need to work at it chunk by chunk, that is okay as well, of course. I'm going to go ahead and move everything to one side of the room, go through it there, and then we'll work through the rest of the steps, just so I'm not dragging everything out into the middle of the house. But I'm going to go ahead and move it all over. We're going to remove everything. I'm talking stuff off the walls, drapes that are hanging up, get those taken down so they can get washed. I've already gone ahead and strip all the bedding so it can get washed. We're taking everything out, everything down, remove it all, and then we can move on to step 2. Let's go ahead real quick and add a little caveat for the clothes. Now, I just redid our closet, and you guys can watch that video. I'll link it down at the description if you want to see exactly how we kind of redid our stuff, more about my minimalist wardrobe and things of that nature. But if you haven't done that and you're getting to the space and you're like, the clothes alone are gonna take me, a whole day or more to get through, there's a couple tips here that I found really helped me when I wanted to go through and actually sort through my clothes and see where we're at. There's different tips and tricks. Do what you think works best. You can do something where you take all the clothes that are hanging up, turn everything so the hangers are all facing one direction, and then grab whatever you use for, a month. And when you hang it back up, hang the hanger up in the opposite direction. And then at the end of the month, you can see what you actually wore, what you actually used, and then go through and get rid of stuff. Another thing that I love to do is to wash all of my laundry. Absolutely everything. Have everything washed and put away. Then don't wash any of your laundry for a week, 2 weeks, right? Just kind of store it all up, put it in a basket off to the side. You will notice after that amount of time, the things that you actually wear and the other things that you actually really don't like wearing that much because you didn't choose them and you left them in your closet or your drawers. That would be a really great time then to go through and get rid of a bunch of stuff. What I do is I have 2 sets of clothes. One lives in a box up there, the rest are hanging right here. It's very minimal, very simple. I will go to a thrift store twice a year and pick up new pieces as needed. I keep a few dresses, a few tops, a few bottoms, 1 or 2 pairs of pajamas, and a couple like exercise related gardening outdoor work outfits. That's it. Very, very simple. And so for me, I have a box that in the cold winter months, the stuff goes into the box. It goes right up there. In the warmer winter or, the warmer months, then the stuff switches. And then that's what I have in here. Again, like I said, I go to the thrift store if I need to get anything. So whether you want to just get rid of all of your stuff, only pick out the essentials. You want to try the hanger hack where you see what you're actually wearing. You want to try the laundry hack where you wear all the stuff you love. After you give yourself, a couple weeks or so, you have a couple weeks worth of clothes that you love, get rid of everything else. Whatever it is that you need to do, I think it's important to be realistic with yourself and to be honest. Are you holding on to this for some reason? Are you storing up your treasure here on earth? Why do you have so much excess? Why do you have so many clothes? Could those clothes go and be a blessing to someone else? What about a local women's shelter that you could go and drop stuff off and let it be a blessing to someone? What about posting in a community group of, hey, I've got a bunch of extra clothes. If anyone's in need, here, these are for you. Those are all great things to be able to do with the excess. We don't need to be hoarding it all up and stuffing everything to the gills and being so overwhelmed with it. Let it go be a blessing to someone else. Keep the pieces that you genuinely wear, that you love wearing, you feel comfortable in, right? They fit, they're good, they're what you need. And let the excess go. Let it be a blessing, and you can move on without so much overwhelm in your own closets. So now that I have everything removed, it's like echoey in here. I've got everything pulled over to one side here, clumped up. I've started my first load with the curtains in. I got the runner off of the dresser. I'll wash my bedding next, getting everything nice and clean. Here is our second step. So what I like to do for this, is I've got it right back here, but I just take my bucket and mop. For my floors, I use my vacuum mop, which I love more than anything else in the whole wide world. But for all of the walls, baseboards, trim, everything, I use that hand mop there. And so what I like to do is put my favorite all natural cleaners in it, some hot water, and then that way I can go in. I can start from the ceiling, work my way down. I start in one area of the room, work in a clockwise rotation, clean all of the walls. I wipe off the windows, the walls, the baseboards, the ceiling, everything with that, working top to bottom around the room. Once I've done the walls, I go ahead and take my damp cloth and wipe off every horizontal surface. So I'll wipe down the dresser really well. I'll wipe down our headboard and this little side chair that we have. We've got a little office set up here in this extra closet. I'll wipe all of that down. Just get everything nice and clean. Once I've started with the walls, then I get like the furniture and the surfaces, and then I'll go ahead and grab my vacuum mop and do the floors. And while we're deep cleaning this space, okay, this is like, think of spring cleaning to the max, right? Every nook and cranny, we're giving it a nice, good scrub down. While that's happening, I want us to be thinking, kind of thoughtfully, intentionally, even prayerfully going through, because our next step is really going to start to be the big one, talking about what needs to be in this space. And this is where I say, this is to be your retreat. This is to be your and your husband's special space, right? Where you come at the end of the night and relax and, you know, get that rest and have your own little space where the chaos and busyness of the world doesn't need to come into. And so I think it's really important while we're cleaning to kind of be thoughtful here. What are the areas of your room that you cannot stand? It drives you crazy. It's so frustrating. You don't even want to think about it, right? What are those things? What would you like to see less of? Because what is it that you want to be seeing more of in here? And so while we're cleaning and we're doing this, I want us to be kind of thoughtful through those processes and going, is it that, you know, you've got a chair in here that laundry is always piling up on and it just drives you bananas? Is it that there's clutter always stacked on the dresser or the end tables? Is it that, you know, what is it in the space that just really is overwhelming and isn't something that you or your husband really sees as this like restful, beautiful retreat each and every day? Let's be thinking through those things. Let's ask the hubby what he thinks, and let's get to cleaning. Alrighty friends, we have completed the first two steps by way of getting everything out of here. Deep cleaning it now. Highly recommend if you have the, I have a handheld like upholstery cleaner or a steamer or even just vacuuming, putting some freshener on. Clean your mattress. It's a great time to clean and flip mattresses too. So just a little note there with your bed. I just swapped our bedding, so things are washing. The curtains are done in the washer, so I've got them hanging out to dry. Everything is so nice and clean. If you want to move furniture around or whatever it is that you might want to do, now is a wonderful time to do that because everything is out, or at least in one pile, and everything is nice and clean. It's amazing how much cobwebs and just random things can kind of build up in a space if you're like me, especially the space that you get to the least often. So now we're going to move on to step number 3, which really 3 and 4 are the last two steps, but really the hardest. And so I know you've got this. Let's keep going and let's build this beautiful retreat space for you and your husband here in your bedroom. Step 3 is to put back now only the essentials, okay? Hear me out on this. I want you to look at your space and this gargantuan mountain of stuff over here, and only put back the things that you actually need and use in this space. Your room will not function for you all if you do not have these items, okay? We're going to start there before we get to the rest of it. And so I think it's really important to look at this and go, okay, what do I actually need by my bed? What do I actually need at my dresser, at the closet, you know, a little desk space if you have that in your room, whatever it is. Even looking at your bedding, do you really need 8 billion pillows? Do you really need 9 million, you know, overlay blankets or whatever it might be, right? Look at that and really go, hey, what do we really need in this space? The point is to simplify, to have the luxurious touches that mean so much to us without all of the clutter and excess that really does become heavy over time as we're trying to keep up with all of this stuff. I will note here that something my husband and I talked about years ago when talking about our bedroom was my husband was like, I don't want any pictures of our kids in our bedroom. Sorry, y'all. Like, I don't want to have that in our room. This is our space. So in our room, we do have a couple pieces of artwork, but the pictures we have are pictures of us. It is our room. This is our space. We have the whole house out there to be the family space. In here, little touches get a little bit daintier. There's a lot more little kind of like romantic things woven through the room because this is our space. This is our retreat that we get to have for us. And so our bedroom and our bathroom really reflect it being a little bit different than everybody else out there. A little daintier, a little prettier, right? Those little touches really do come in. And so in our space, that really does make a big difference. So I'm gonna start looking at what we have here. I am gonna put our curtains back up because that's an essential for us. My husband loves being able to pull the curtains because although we live out in the country, he has a hard time with light coming in the windows. Doesn't bother me in the slightest, really bothers him. So he likes it nice and dark. I'm gonna put his curtains back up. I will say our curtains are like high quality. Found them at a thrift store for a few bucks. Thrift stores are where it's at, y'all. I'm telling you, it makes such a difference. They're beautiful. I love them. I'm gonna put those back. Our bedding is being finished washing, and then I'm gonna start looking through this pile of stuff here and picking out what do we absolutely, necessarily, I cannot go throughout my day without these items. Let's see what those are first. Okay, so step one of grab the must-haves was actually a really small list, and yes, my orchid obviously made it into the must-have list. I pulled aside, my husband has a neck condition, so he has certain gadgets and things to help him. I got our Google Home device that we play our white noise sounds on, plugged in and put away. That leaves this big mess over here. And so this is our fourth and final step that I'm telling you guys makes all the difference when we work through this. Everything that is left is one of 4 categories, and is now that time to assess and deal with what is left, because we've cleared it all out, we've deep cleaned, we've put back our actual essentials, and now we can kind of deal with what's left. This can be very, very simple. Be honest and true with yourself. Keep in mind that the goal here is to create a retreat, a space that you look forward to come to every night. I told you guys to be thinking through the areas that become frustrating with the room. For us, we have the side table that already had a ton of junk on it. That's why I put all the stuff over on that side, because that's where most of the junk was already. That table drives me crazy. It's super sweet. I've held on to it for so long because my son helped me make it, and it was like a fun little project that we did. We've moved it all around the house. We're various different purposes. It ended up in our room because it was supposed to be the charging station, but really what it's become is just the side table that all the junk gets shoved onto. I'm even guilty of it. I'll walk through the room real quick during the day and all the stuff that I just don't know what to do with, can't get to it, I just set it there with great intentions of coming back and dealing with it later, and then that never happens. And then the cats lay on it and they knock stuff over, and it just becomes this sore spot that really becomes frustrating. And so reassessing what we have in here, I am looking forward to going ahead and removing that. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but I'll explain the steps here of these different categories. Because the other thing is we have this little black chair in our room here. This chair has been almost in every single room of our house. We love it so much. It's like the most comfortable chair in the whole wide world. My husband will just sometimes be sitting in here, just relaxing and reading or doing something because we love this chair. And so I think what better way to set this up than to have the nice chair sitting over here, maybe with a side table, since my husband does like to come in and sit down and enjoy and relax sitting in it. Set up a nice little space for that, a dedicated space for enjoyment versus this area of clutter that just takes over our room. And so now we're going to break this up into the categories, and that is trash. You're going to go through the stuff. It's broken, it's old, it's served its purpose, it's trash, it's no good. Maybe you've been holding on to it or you just haven't gone through it. Throw the trash out. The second category would be our treasures. These things are so special. If our house was on fire, we would run back in to get them. I have this little plant that came from Dollar Tree, but our kids got it for me. It was a special Mother's Day gift. They know how much I love plants. We have some areas of our room that really don't get enough light, so I can't keep many plants in our room as much as I would like to. And so having this fake plant is something I really enjoy. My little jewelry box, certain little mementos that are really special. Hold yourself accountable. You don't want to make everything a treasure, but truly those items, they're irreplaceable. Definitely something you want to hold on to. The third category would be our thrift store category. These are things that we are ready to let go of and let them go be a blessing to someone else. Clothes that you're not wearing anymore, right? We just did our closet. You guys can watch that video. So ours is done. That's what we did with everything. If I'm not wearing it, I'm not loving it, let it go. I'm not gonna hold on to a bunch of stuff that maybe I'll fit into one day, right? I'm not gonna hold on to just excess on excess for some reason. I'm gonna go drop it off and let it be a blessing to someone else. Same thing with decor. If you've got a ton of decor, a ton of pillows, a ton of blankets, a ton of things that you just hold on to for whatever reason, you're just hoarding up all of this stuff. Go drop it off, let it bless someone else who could really use it. And then the fourth and final category would be our time out category, okay? So these items, they're not trash because trash has already been dealt with. You don't think you could part with them yet, so you're not ready to take them to the thrift store, but they're not necessarily treasure either. You wouldn't run into a burning building for this, but there's something inside of you that just isn't ready to give it up. You're going, ooh, maybe I might need this. Ooh, maybe we'll miss this. Ooh, whatever it might be. Those items go into timeout. I have a plastic storage box. You can use a laundry basket, cardboard box, a big bag. It doesn't matter. Any item that falls into that category as you're sorting things out, you're gonna take it and put it in some space out of sight, out of mind. A garage. For us, it's the basement. Maybe it's a spare bedroom, a closet, somewhere, okay? Everything that falls into this timeout category that you don't think you can part with yet, you're gonna put into this container of sorts, put it somewhere out of sight, out of mind, and then on your phone, set a reminder for 2, 3, 4 weeks from today. When that time comes, I wouldn't go further than a month out. When that time comes and it pops up on your phone, ooh, go check your stuff from the bedroom, you're going to go to that box, that bag, basket, whatever you use, and reassess through those items. Did you miss anything in that time? Did you need to go pull out the box and get anything in that time? Do you even remember what exactly is in that box? It's quite amazing when we remove stuff, we go, oh, maybe this isn't as important as I thought it was. Maybe I don't need to cling on so tightly to all of this stuff. At which point you can take it, go donate it to someone, let it be a blessing to someone else, because it's clearly just excess in your home and in your life. So let's go ahead and reassess what all we have left that we know is not in the absolute essential category, and put our space back together here so that we can have this beautiful retreat here in our bedroom. We've done it. I'm a little tired now, but the space feels so much better. I sorted through. I've got my husband and son hauling stuff down to the basement. We have things getting loaded up in the back of the car that will go directly to the thrift store, into local donation centers, so that way it can go and be a blessing to someone else. My bedding is clean, the curtains are washed, like everything has been wiped down. There's no dust in the room, from the ceilings, the crown molding, down to the baseboards, and all of our floors. They're so clean. It feels so fresh. I've lit a candle. Everything looks lovely. I loved it. My husband knew I was in here working in the room today, so he was trying to stay out of my way because he knew I was recording and stuff. He popped in a couple times, and then he came in and he saw how I'd moved his chair over and set up. We love collecting Dachshund stuff, and so he saw all of the little Dachshund stuff on the bookshelf that I brought in, and just one of our favorite pictures that we have sitting there. So it was really sweet to have him come in, and he was really surprised and really enjoyed the space and making it our retreat. I don't want it to be filled with junk. I don't want it to be cluttered and chaotic. I want it to be peaceful and relaxing. I have my little Google Home speaker up there, and every night we have it programmed to just play our thunderstorm sounds that we like to sleep to. And then every morning I have it programmed to play just really soft, lovely, romantic music at a very, very, very low volume. And so it's kind of sweet that just when we happen to be passing through here through the day, it feels so serene, so peaceful, so lovely, beautiful, romantic, right? Whatever it is that you're looking for there in your space, I think it is absolutely worthwhile. Yes, we've been tackling all the other stuff, and that's great, but it's really important to tackle this space as well, to make it a priority in a space that feels great. I have some of our favorite photos of us up on the walls, some of my favorite thrifted art that we have in the space. I collect these portraits. It's every month with different floral arrangements. I was a florist by trade, so flowers are really special to us, and we have our birth months here in the room. It's just a special thing. I've got them sprinkled all over the house, but the ones for our birth months we have here in the room. So again, just special little touches that mean something to us here in our space. Not cluttered, not chaotic, not overly anything, just a nice and peaceful retreat for my husband and I, a special intimate spot for the two of us. And so hopefully this can be an encouragement to you to go and tackle your space, to make it feel lovely. Light that candle, right? Put some spray on. I have my Lampe I burn throughout the house, and I love smelling that. Not only is it purifying my air, but it smells so good in here with soft music playing. And even I sat down a couple times here on the chair and was like, man, it's kind of nice to just have this little spot. If I want to sit down and read or do something, I can add some of our favorite books here to the bookshelf, and we have this little retreat here for just the two of us right here in our own little space. So hopefully this was a blessing to you all. If you want to see the full playlist, be sure to check it out right up there. We've got some great stuff for you this week. I'm going to be showing you exactly how we deal with tackling the kids' clutter and chaos as well. So be sure to subscribe, turn on your bell notifications, so that way you get that one. Bye, friends.